Okay, good morning, 8th grade. Bright and early today on our new schedule for remote learning. We are going to continue our review for Unit 7. Hey, Brian, I'm actually streaming for 8th grade right now, according to the new schedule. It's okay, guys. I see you guys. What time today? I see you guys at 10 a.m. in just an hour. Good morning. Guys, this is for my 8th grade. I stream for my homeroom at 10 today. You guys are actually supposed to be with someone else. Kevin, good morning. Thank you for joining me. I know it's early and I know the schedule is different. Okay, so 8th grade, we are gonna start with a warm-up like normal, and then we're gonna continue our review. We did the first 3 problems yesterday. As usual, I'll take any questions because Edulastic was due already. And if there's any problems that I did not do Thursday, Friday, or I didn't do any yesterday. So if there's any problems that I didn't do Thursday or Friday, I will do one for you guys if you need it. That's not a problem. All right, so solve for x. 4x minus 7 equals 6x plus 31. We really can't waste any time. Looks like its schedule is packed this morning. So let's get moving. Okay. Dagny! What's up, girl? We missed you yesterday. My number 1 participant was missing. It was so quiet. All right. There's our warm-up. Let's take attendance. And then we're going to rock and roll, all right? Dagny, Kevin, did you get a chance to look at the new schedule yet on Google Classroom? I'm assuming you did since you're here. Period 6, 7. Who is... We got Dagny and Kevin so far. Okay. Nice job. Today's the 24th. Okay. All right, guys. 4x minus 7 equals 6x plus 31. I'm taking it easy on you, right? No fractions. No crazy negatives. Not bad, right? Okay, so that means you guys should be able to do it with no problem. Can we combine like terms the way they are? No. Good morning, Mr. Casamento. Okay. So you can start this problem any way you like, juggling with whatever you like. It's really whatever you want, whatever you're comfortable with. Good morning, Jacqueline. Thank you for joining us, dear. Did we take a look at our new schedules? Kevin's thinking. Okay, do you have any questions on the new schedule? I think I get rid of this glare. Okay, that's better. Good morning, Brian. Thank you. I know it's early, so kudos to you guys. Thank you very much. All right, yeah, what are the blank spaces on the schedule? If it's blank, it means that you have nothing scheduled at that time. It's your free time, like a study hall, lunch, break, whatever you want it for. It means nothing was scheduled. Maybe you can use that time to contact a teacher that you might have missed, right? Because between 9 and 1, we're required to be able to answer your questions anyway. Any other questions on the new schedule? I'm really glad you guys are here. I was afraid the schedule would like put a kink in our meetings since it changes it, but I think we're okay. Okay, so I'm gonna start with adding 7 to both sides. (31 and 7 is 38. Now, since I have a regular number or constant right here next to a variable, and a variable is over here by itself, I'm going to juggle a little bit so that the variables are all on one side. Right? 4 minus 6 is a -2. 38 divided by -2. What is 38 divided by a -2? It is a negative, what's that, 19? I believe, -19. Any questions on the warm-up? I hope you guys are practicing them and not just like sitting there watching me do it, because it's still math and you still have to practice it in order to get good at it. And we are at the end of the unit, so I'm not sure what the test is going to look like since we're remote learning. I'm going to discuss that with my math supervisor today after I stream my classes, and I will let you know. But we do have to somehow assess you, just like we would if we were in school. All right, so I'll give you the update on that. All right, if you don't have any questions on the warm-up, we really need to get to this test review. We did 3 problems yesterday, so if you missed yesterday's stream, please watch the first 3 problems. I need you guys to open up the review on Google Classroom in the classwork tab. It's a spreadsheet like normal. It tells us what problems we're supposed to be doing in the book. And because we're remote learning, I put attachments of pictures of the problems that you should be doing. All right, so as far as the review goes, it's expected that you either take a picture of your work and send it to me, or you are turning in those pictures as with work on them to show me that you did the review. All right, let's open that up. It is our Unit 7 review. Okay, we did the first 3, so that means that we're on page 85, number 1. Page 85, number 1. See what that looks like for you so that you know which picture you're looking at. I try to keep them titled the right way. Page 85, number 1. Okay. Page 85, number 1 looks just like, ooh, that looks blurry. Okay, that looks better. Looks just like that. It is a lesson 11 practice problem in your book. I'm going to do number 1. If you guys have just joined, please make sure that you say hi or present so that I put you in for attendance. We are working on our test review, and if you have any questions on anything. It says select all the expressions that are equal to 4 times 10 to the negative 3. 4 times 10 to the negative 3. Okay, and this is, let's label it page 85, number 1. Good morning, Joshua. Whoa! Good morning, Jamil. That's what's up. Boy, have you got a lot of videos to watch. All right, we are doing our test review, so make sure that that's open. In your book, I'm on page 85, number 1. We're going to select all the expressions that are equivalent to that one. Hey. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, let's take a look at letter A. Letter A says, take the whole number 4 and multiply it by a tenth 3 times. Now let's ask ourselves if this is the same thing as this one. Hopefully from yesterday's review, if you participated or you watched later on, hopefully you remember that right here, because this is negative, you are to take the reciprocal of the base. What would the reciprocal of the base be? The reciprocal of the whole number 10 is a tenth, and there are supposed to be 3 of them, and then the numerical factor or coefficient of 4. So yes, this is equivalent. Let's take a look at B. Ooh. Okay, it says 4 times a negative 10 times a negative 10 times a negative 10. So they want to know if you understand what this negative exponent is telling you to actually do. What is this actually telling you to do? It's telling you to multiply by a tenth by itself 3 times. It is not telling you to multiply by a negative 10 3 times. So this is not true. And is not equivalent. Okay, let's take a look at letter C. Letter C says 4 times a tenth, hundredth, thousandth, a thousandth. Okay, well, let's ask ourselves a question, all right? If I was to change this to a decimal, what would that be? Good morning, Camila. How are you? Thank you guys for joining. Thank you very much. We're doing our test review that we normally do at the end of a book. We did the first 3 problems yesterday. I'm on page 85, number 1. All right, what is that as a decimal, folks? Hopefully you recognize this is like if you thought about money as 10 cents. So this would be 10 cents times 10 cents times 10 cents. All right, well, let's do that. What is a tenth times a tenth times a tenth? You can even look at it in terms of fractions. 10 times 10 times 10, you know that 10 cubed is 1,000. So if this is 4 times 1 over 1,000, well, what's 1 over 1,000? That's the same thing in decimal form as that. And if you weren't sure, you could use a calculator, but hopefully you recognize that. So this one, that means that that's okay. That one is equivalent. Okay, we got 3 more to go, right? Okay, well, D doesn't make sense to be true if C is true. If this one is true, this cannot be true, right? Okay, all right, let's take a look at this. Okay, E and F are basically doing the same thing that C and D are doing. They're trying to ask you which one is the correct one. So let's decide that. Let's actually do this, please. If you take 4 and you multiply it by that, do you get E or do you get F? Can someone actually like type E or F? Even if you're wrong, I don't care. Just like respond so that I'm not talking to my board. That would mean a lot to me. What do you guys think? If you multiply 4 times, oh, I pointed to this one, wasn't I? I was supposed to point to that one because this is the correct one. You gotta tell me these things. 4 times 0.001 or 1,000th, all right? If you multiply that out, which one do you get? Do you get E or do you get F? Okay, I have a guess here of E. Anybody else? Thank you, Dagny, so much. I so much appreciate that. I don't think you understand how much that means to me. What else do you guys think? Anyone else? Do you agree with her? Do you think it's F? Anything? Somebody? If you're not sure, right, just do work with this one too. All right, we got a couple more. One more person says E. Okay, cool. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. Anyone else? That's it? Okay. Yes. Nice job. So if this one is correct, this one is wrong. Any questions on this one? Are we okay with that? The next one says to go to page 100, and we're going to do a couple of problems on this one. It says we're going to do number 1, and then we're going to do number 2, B, C, and E only, okay? So I could show you number 1, since that's the first one we're doing. Should look like that. Lesson 13, practice problem. We're doing number 1. It says write each number in scientific notation. This should be a breeze for you because we've been practicing that a lot. All right, so let's refresh that skill. Okay, page 100, number 1. We have A through H. Okay, let's take a look at letter A. We are starting with 14,700. We have to write it in scientific notation. Where is my decimal right now? Think about money. If this was money, it would be 14,700 and no cents. Good morning, Escalin. Okay, so Kevin says do 1.47. Let's do that. Times 10 to the what, buddy? Thank you. That's awesome. Escalin, we're doing test review. We are on page 100, number 1. Page 100, number 1. Looks just like that. right? Times 10 to the what? How many times do you have to move it to the right to get to 14,700? All right, you say 4? All right, let's see. I just had to update attendance, I'm sorry. All right, so let's see. If we're starting here at 1, 2, 3, 4, I totally agree with you then. Nice job. B. B says that we're going to start with tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000, 100,000, 8,300 thousandths, I suppose. Okay, good. You guys got it. Nice job. Okay, if we're going to put that in scientific notation, what do we start with? I don't want to jump ahead of you because there might be lag. Cool, 8.3. Let's like it. 8.3 times 10 to the... Now, this is where you have to be careful, okay? Is it going to the left or going to the right? This is your starting point. And to get to this number, you have to make the number smaller because this is way smaller than 8.3. So you know you have to move to the left. How many times do you have to move to the left? Dígame. Ooh, Jacqueline jumps in there with Kevin. Okay, -4. Let's see. If I'm starting here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice job. Beautiful. Good job. Too easy, right? Okay, letter C. Letter C, all right, 760,000, wait, million. $760 million. Again, if it was money, $760 million, no sense. 7.6, Kevin says. Times 10 to the... Now, right? 7.6 is a way smaller than 760 million. So you have to make it larger. So you're going to be moving to the right. Your exponent is positive, and Kevin says it's 8. It's 8. Okay, it's 8. Let's test it out. If I start over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Excellent. Letter D says if you start with 38,000. Let's see what you guys got. And I need to munja a bit. So just ignore that. Hello, Thais. Welcome. Where are you, Kevin? Come on. Where's Jamil? Jamil needs to talk to me in this stream. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to do roll call real quick. You tell me if I miss calling you. Okay, there's my 3.8. Thank you, sir. 3.8 times 10 to the... I have to make it smaller. From here to here, you have to make it a smaller number. So I'm going to the left. Okay. So, okay, he says to the -2. So if I'm here, 1, 2, good job. Okay, I have Dagny, Kevin, Jacqueline, Brian, Jamil, Joshua, Camila, Eskin, and Thais. Is there anybody that I missed? Okay, letter E. And you should be able to see it if I write it down here. Letter E is very similar to this one, except that it's a little bit of a bigger number. This is like 38 cents. So he says 3.8 again, but this time it's only going to be what? 10 to the negative 1. Nice job, guys. Thank you. Okay, 3 more for this problem. Letter F. We're working with similar numbers, but the decimal point is in a different spot. This is like a trick question, I guess. Let's see if you guys are on point. That's right, Kevin. We're going to leave it alone as 3.8. And in order for it to be in scientific notation, it has to be multiplied to 10 to some exponent. So tell me what exponent I have to put there in order to keep it as 3.8, not to move it. Oh, there is no trick in this boy. Nice job. I really thought they were going to trick you. Anything to the 0 power is 1, so 3.8 times 1 is still 3.8. Nice. You're a morning person. Okay, next one. G and then H. G. Oh boy. I'm not even going to try to say that number. Okay, what do you think? 3.8 and then the exponent is 12. All right, let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, man, you're on a roll. All right, last one. Let's see if you could keep your streak. Good morning, Jesus. This is the 8th grade stream. I'm going to see you guys at 10 o'clock, okay? Okay, Kevin says it's gonna. Oh, I didn't even write it down. Okay, I'll just put the answer down. So you. That's okay, Jesus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 9 zeros, if I count those correct. Yeah. And Kevin is saying 9 times 10 to the negative 9. All right, let's test it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 10. I got negative 10. Will you double check, please? Okay, cool. And just like that, number 1 is done, ladies and gentlemen. Nice job. So the next one on the list for the test review is to do number 2, but we're only going to do certain ones. And what do you notice about the ones that we're going to do? The ones that we have to do, it says B, C, and E only. B, C, and E only. So if you had to guess, like what kind of skill you got to have on this test, what do you think we're doing? And here I could show you at the bottom of page 100. There's number 2. There's at least A and B. And then on page 101, we got the other ones. All right, so what? Good morning, Ivan. We've been doing our test review. It's on Google Classroom with the attachments if you don't have your book, but you can also do it in your book if you take pictures of your work. If you missed the test review from yesterday, you have to watch it. We're on page 100, and we're going to do number 2 now. But we're only doing B, C, and E. B, C, E only. Okay. All right, letter B. Perform the following calculations, express your answer in scientific notation. So please be careful when you read directions. If it's telling you to put it in scientific notation and your answer is not in scientific notation, you have to put it in scientific notation. Otherwise, you lose credit. All right. And there's no need for that because you guys are showing me that you know how to put it in scientific notation. I don't want you to lose credit. Letter B says, and you guys didn't answer my question. If you look at B, C, and E, what do they all have in common? They're all multiplying, right? We're multiplying numbers using scientific notation. Letter A is adding them. And D is a power to a power. Okay, let's multiply that. How do we do that? Okay. Now, I don't want you to let the parentheses throw you off. This is a multiplication symbol, and this is a multiplication symbol too, right? So let's not worry about a format right now. Let's just look at the math part of it. It's 4.1 times 10 to the 7 and times 2, right? It's all multiplied, and hopefully you remember that multiplication is commutative. What do I mean by commutative? It means that you can multiply this in any order you want and you will still get the same result. So let's multiply the two that look the most alike. What's 4.1 times 2? I didn't do anything with my 10 to the 7th. So ask yourself now if that's in scientific notation. Isn't that in scientific notation? Why, yes, yes it is. Excellent, thank you, buddy. Okay, letter C. This looks a lot like the first one. So if I do the same thing, multiply these two together, 1.5 times 3, that's like saying that you have 3 sets of $1.50. What is that? Is that in scientific notation? Most definitely, right? Easy. Okay. Never fear, just because this one looks a little different. And actually, I need more room than that, so I'm gonna move this over. Okay, that's what we're looking at. That's right, Ivan. Okay, now again, and you don't have to keep writing this out with these extra steps when it's test time or when you're doing your work. I'm only doing it for instructional purposes. I want you to see that this is all multiplication, so it's commutative and you could do it in any order. So let's just remove the parentheses and let's remove all the different ways that they're saying to multiply, because now it looks so much more simplistic, right? We do not have to do D. If you look at the test review, we're doing B, C, and E only, multiplying the using scientific notation. So what's 9 times 3? It's 27. When I multiply bases that are the same, what can I do with their exponents? Hopefully you remember your rules. You add. 6 and 6 is 12. Is this in scientific notation? No. So 2.7 times 10 to the what? Since I made the number smaller than the original, it means that I'm going to have to go further to the right. It has an extra move to make to the right. So this is your answer right here in scientific notation. Do you guys have any questions about any of those, B, C, or E? All right, let's take a look at what's next. We only have a couple more to go, so that's cool. We're going to page 63, and it says number 1. Page 63, number 1. Page 63, number 1. Looks just like that. Okay, page 63, number 1. Select all the true statements. Okay, let's ask ourselves if this is true or false. When I multiply bases are the same, I'm supposed to do what to the exponents? I'm supposed to add. Is 8 plus 9 17? Yes, it is. Let's take a look at B. We have bases that are different now, but their exponents are the same. You guys remember the rule there? We have not really practiced this too much. If you forgot the rule, I'll tell you where you can go to check it out. Maybe you could see from your notes. I believe no, not that one. Maybe that one. Yeah. Yep, this one. If you don't remember, I want you to take a look at page 60. Take a look at page 60 and take a look at that chart that you filled out, because we definitely did this in class. Page 60. What are you supposed to do with the bases or the exponents? Like, what kind of rule do we have in a situation like this that we apply? You guys remember? If my exponents are the same and the operation that connects both of the terms is multiplication, you can simply do 8 times 9, which is 72, and you would keep the exponent the same. Now, if you don't believe me, if you don't remember the chart, we can expand, absolutely. What is 8 squared? It's 64. What is 9 squared? It's 81. What is 72 squared? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm calculating 5,184. Let's test if 64 times 81 equals that. Yes. If you remember the rule, then you can just say real quick, exponents are the same, so I multiply their base. That's acceptable. All right, let's take a look at C. Okay, C says 8 squared times 9 squared is equal to 72 to the 4th power. Well, you already know that this is false. You know that this is false because we just saw the same exact thing in B, but we proved that this one was the correct one. And if this one is the correct one, this is false. So that's easy, right? That's just a matter of paying attention to your answer choices. Let's take a look at this one. 2 to the 8th times 2 to the 9th equals 4 to the 17th. Now they're doing it again to you. This one looks a lot like that one. 2 to the 8th, 2 to the 8th, times, 2 to the 9th, 2 to the 9th. We already proved that this one was true. So if this one is true, this one has to be false, okay? Okay, now we're not done with the test review. But I do want to leave time for any last questions. Yes, C and D are both false. True, true, false, false. All right. Do you guys have any last questions? Because what I would like to do, since I'm streaming in just a few minutes for 6th grade also, back to back. Today's like back to back to back to back for me. I'm gonna stop there unless you have questions about any past work, or about the schedule, anything in general. If you don't have any questions, we can stop. And then just follow up with email. Please make sure you're staying on top of your work. I am not up to date with my grading. I had a few other things that had to come before that. So hopefully between today and tomorrow, I will be all caught up, okay? Do you guys have any questions for me? All right, then I'm going to stop there, and you guys have a good day. And tomorrow, I will see you at 2:30 p.m. Okay, 2:30 p.m. tomorrow. All right, and you can always email me any questions or comment on the posts. All right, you guys stay safe and be good, okay?